Coucou! Welcome back to Unintentionally Frenchified. If you're new to the channel, I'm an American living in Paris and I love doing videos on all things French, the language, the culture, the history, the bread, the cheese, the wine, my cute Franco-American baby, you name it. If it's French, I'm on it. So I film most of my videos from here in this apartment, so this corner or the couch. I'm sure if you've seen some videos, you'll recognize some of the areas, but I've never actually shown you guys our entire place. And since we're confined right now, what better time than now to do an apartment tour? Before I show you the place though, I want to give a little disclaimer because this is the 4th apartment that I've had in Paris and it is the 6th apartment that I've had in France. So I did not start out in an apartment. I mean, the apartment I'm going to show you is 42 meters squared. It's not huge, but for Paris standards, it's a pretty good size. I started out and gradually built my way up. My very first apartment, I lived in the 16th arrondissement with this so kind elderly French woman who had 5 kids that had actually moved out, so she had extra space, and she rented out a room for 400 euros a month, and I could afford it. I slept among her son's trophies from the 80s, but she was really sweet, and there was a cleaning lady, so cha-ching. And then I moved into a Chambre de Bonne, but like a real Chambre de Bonne, guys, not like an Emily in Paris one. It was like 11 or 12 meters squared. It was in Port Maillot. There were like shared toilets on the floor, but it was the first time that I had something that was like rented and just like mine. You know, I wasn't living with anyone else, so I remember thinking that that was so cool. And then after that, I moved to a apartment, a studio. It was about 20 meters squared in the 19th of Paris, and I subleased that one for a year while the girl was studying abroad. And then finally, my boyfriend and I, who then became my husband, moved into this place 5 years ago. It's in Pigalle, Montmartre. I love the area. People would have said, like maybe 10 years ago, that it's sketchy. I don't really feel that way at all. I love it. Montmartre is so charming, and Pigalle has a bit of red light district going on, but I love the vibe. So we love it here. But I just want to say, if you're a student arriving in Paris or a young professional just starting out, I wouldn't base this as like the guideline of the apartments. Of course, everything depends on your budget. So if you're ready and the suspense isn't too much, let's start the visit. Alright, first things first, when you come in, I think this is something that is like very French maybe, or you guys will have to tell me if it's like other like this in Europe, but there's not actually like a door knob that you turn, you know? So you just like stick your key in and you turn, and then you just like push the door. So there's not actually like a handle. I always thought that was kind of weird, and all of my apartments have been like that. So maybe it's a French thing, maybe it's a European thing, I don't know. So when you first come into the apartment, here I am, you can see right away a very open plan with the kitchen, the living room, and then the bedroom. Right, let's start with the kitchen. So, it's a pretty normal kitchen, I would say. When we actually bought the apartment, the space was closed off and we opened it up, and we wanted to open it off here, but this gorgeous beam is structural, so we were not able to get rid of it, which was a little bit difficult when it came to planning the kitchen, but I think we managed to do it okay, because over here we've actually got like some storage space for food, and we've got our fabulous microwave, and then we managed to fit the fridge in here too, which is perfect because it's a big like large fridge, which was something I absolutely wanted after having like years of little dorm room size fridge. And the only thing though that's really difficult about this is we realized that if the fridge ever breaks down, we cannot get it out without moving this like cabinet over here, so we'll see. We have lots and lots of things over our fridge. This is kind of the way by putting like all of our family and friends where I feel a little bit closer to home. So love our fridge. Otherwise, everything is pretty normal around here. Like we've got a sink, stovetop, an oven. We have this tiny ass dishwasher that Robin absolutely had to have, and I thought was like so ridiculous because it would be too small. And actually, it has served us very, very well. So I am very happy that it's here now. I kind of feel like the kitchen is very French when you see all of the cheese platters that we've got. We've got one here, we've got one over there. Shout out to Caroline for that gorgeous one. We of course have the baguette, which as you can see, Robin has already eaten a small part of it on the way home. This is very French. And we definitely have, next to all of our masks, hello global pandemic, we have lots and lots of bottles of wine here. So just our little lovely table for two, now three with Eleanor. And if any parents are looking for an evolving high chair, we really love this Stokey chair, FYI. So moving into the living room, first start with a little part of the kitchen that's in the living room. We have this really big like cabinet, open space here to hold like lots of different, I don't know, dishes, knickknacks in here, like a junk drawer if anyone has junk drawers these days, we do, and lots of stuff underneath here. And then of course the holy grail of all of the wines and the champagne and Robin's very important pastis we keep here. And then we move into the living room. And I would say the living room is pretty normal. We've got a couch, we've got some chairs, our coffee table. Over here we have all of the books and comic books. I have talked about this in my Married to a Frenchman video that you'll check out. You should check out if you haven't seen it. That we of course have all of Robin's, or a portion of all of his comic books over here too. And I'm actually a super big fan of old books. They're from like the 1800s and the 1700s, and I'm a big reader and writer, so I find those really cool. So we also have on display lots of books and some little photos of a wedding that I love, and Robin's grandma up here that we love having. And one of my favorite parts of this room is actually the view. So if you come over here, you can see in Paris, usually you've got people that live right next door and they can see so close into your house. And we actually have a view in our living room onto like this little garden in the front. And I always thought that was kind of nice to feel like they're a little bit farther away, though to be fair, like at night when it's dark and our lights are on, you can see into everybody's place. So, I mean, it's still Paris, but at least it makes us feel like we've got a little bit of space. All right, let's go to what I like to call the master bedroom over here. And voila! So this is a very cozy room. Fun fact for everybody to know, our rooms are so small. We have 2 bedrooms here. They're so small that our insurance actually considers that we live in a studio with no bedrooms because you can't insure such a small space. So we do love it though. It's very cozy. This is our bed. As you can see, you can't actually walk around the bed on both sides. So that is also quite the issue if someone's getting up in the middle of the night, annoying each other. Which side do you sleep on? This is all the things we think about. But it's very cozy. And as you can see, we have this lovely yellow mustard sheet up right now. I don't know if any of you guys are aware because I've talked about this a couple of times because I loved it so much. We got these really fancy, you can see, like up and down blinds that are electronic so that we weren't cranking them every night, and they broke like after a month after we got them. And so because it's been the pandemic and the guy isn't working, he hasn't been able to fix them, so we have no curtains and we do have neighbors. So now we have this lovely orange, like yellow sheet that we spray across. Anyways, you got to do what you got to do, right? And then obviously we just have stuff over here to help with like clothes and everything, and a couple of like cute little shelves. And I mean, this is just kind of where the magic happens. And okay, let's take you now to the bathroom and Eleanor's room, our second small bedroom. As we're walking, I cannot forget these 2 beautiful little holes in our floor. This is actually where we used to have a pole for a pole dancing that went all the way up here. And our last landlord was an exotic dancer and she would practice at home, and so we did have to get rid of, unfortunately, the pole. All right, welcome to the smallest hallway that you've ever seen. We have 3 different doors here. What's behind door number 1? This would be the toilets. This to me is very French or European. I remember the first time I visited Paris, I was 16 and the toilets were separate from the bathroom in the hotel, and I thought this was insane. So as you can see, we've really just got a room with the toilets. We've got this like little door that actually opens all like special so that it can stay nice and compact. We've got the toilets, got a beautiful photo from Robin's dad who does a lot of pictures, and you can see we've got a sink here as well, and if you step inside you can even see that there is a pastis prayer, because of course it is important to be able to see our little prayer through the pastis. And behind door number 2 we have the bathroom. And one of the fun facts about this bathroom when we first moved in is that the lighting was like a disco lighting. So every time you turned on the light, it was like blue and then purple and then green. And we very much felt like we were in a club when we came in here, which was very fun on the nights that we were coming home for clubbing, and less fun at the sober moments. So we did decide to change to a more regular lighting for the sober times that we were here. I would say the bathroom is pretty normal. We've got lots of storage, especially now that we have Eleanor. We need room for lots of things. We painted the bathroom was like a purple, as you can see down here, and we painted it white. The machines moved a little bit. I'm obsessed with having a washer. Guys, I lived for so many years in France without a washer and dryer, well, without a washer in my place, and so not going to the laundromat was such a luxury when we first moved in here. I do admit that I miss having a dryer. I know it's not very friendly for the environment, but I was so used to drying my clothes in the US that I do miss that a little bit, but it is what it is. And then I kind of think the other like European-ish thing in here is this like towel dryer. I never had one of these in the US, and I find that kind of nice that we can at least have some like warm fluffy towels sometimes. We don't do it that often, but it's kind of nice when we get out of the shower to have that. So that's the bathroom. And behind door number 3, we have Eleanor's room. So this is where our little Elle hangs out. So she's got a little play corner here. She's kind of like learning now how to stand up and take a couple of steps. So she's got her own little like tables here. We've got her bed, an amazing mobile that her lovely aunt made for her. And we've got this from IKEA, by the way. I am absolutely 100% in love with all of the storage space that we got in this very tiny room. This room is only 7 meters squared, and I feel like we're maximizing space 100%. We've got tons of books. I don't know if you guys are American, then you'll definitely know Dr. Seuss, but if you're not, this is the best classic American books over here. And we've got little animals. If you guys watch any videos from Rosie on Not Even French, this is a kiwi bird that she sent from New Zealand for Eleanor, and apparently they're blind and deaf and they're the symbol of New Zealand, but they are so damn cute. And over here you've got a window into the cour of our apartment. Honestly, this is a terrible, disgusting view, and our neighbors are incredibly close, and one of the windows over there looks into their bathroom, and I've absolutely seen my neighbor like flexing in his undies, so I really try to keep this closed whenever possible. But there you go, you got a little rocking chair, all the little fun stuff for Eleanor. She can hang out in here whenever she wants. Alright, so I'm back into my pretty normal spot to film. Now you guys have a good idea of where it actually is in the house. So we actually own this apartment. We bought it 5 years ago before it got really expensive, and we pay about 850 euros each on our mortgage, which comes to be about 1,700 euros a month. I would say that this is a little bit more expensive than what you would pay if you were renting it. When I looked kind of in our neighborhood just to understand about the same size and knew what people are renting for, it's more like 14, 15, 1,600. So this is the 9th, like bordering the 9th and the 18th. It's obviously what you can rent in Paris is based on the location and based on the size. It's way more expensive if you're going to rent a studio than it is if you want to have something with a couple bedrooms and have some roommates, or if you're, living with someone or a partner or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of my apartment, got to see a little bit where I film all of my videos. If you have any questions about rent, about, apartments, if you want any tips for searching for things, ask below. I'm sure people will leave comments. I'll be there as well. And otherwise, I will see everybody next week. Peace.